Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today I had a little bit of a brain freeze with respect to what I should do for a video. So I decided I'd go read some of my YouTube comments because a lot of the video suggestions I get are from viewers out there. So I figured I'd go take a look to see if anyone had any video suggestions or topics that I should address. And I came across a comment that was a long comment, lots and lots of various questions in there, but it had to do with my overall decision to be fishing Bass Pro Tour and, how I'm doing in it. And I figured I would address this comment. Now, I don't want anyone to think that I'm necessarily taking this comment negatively, because I honestly believe that this person is coming from a positive viewpoint. I think they're actually looking at what they think is best for me. Now, I will say, I think oftentimes the viewers don't fully understand all of the different aspects that go into the decisions that a professional angler makes with respect to their career. But I honestly do feel like it's coming from a positive standpoint. But I wanted to address it because since I've started fishing Bass Pro Tour, I've had so many comments that are part of these questions in one way or the other. So this is a long comment, but I'm going to read through it, kind of break down each question that they ask, give you my reasoning for it. And it's kind of out of the Randy Blockett playbook. I know he likes to, talk about comments that he gets. He does his negative comment thing. But in this case, it's just a lot of questions here. And I figured I would read you it and at the same time walk you through my viewpoint on this. Because again, I'm getting these questions routinely. So this individual says, I'm an avid Matt Steffen fishing fan. Thank you for that. I watch every single video, root for good results in the tournaments, and just overall think you're a great human who fishes like I like to fish. So I love the information and how you do your videos. But I'm going to say something, and I hope this doesn't sound negative because I guess it kind of is. But I personally don't think this every fish counts format is really good format for you, Matt. I believe you can hold your own with just 5 biggest fish counting, but every fish just doesn't seem to be your forte. I would think if every fish counts, you should be shooting for 50 pounds a day or more, but it seems very tough for you to even land 25 pounds. I'm not sure why I don't want to imply I'd be any better because I would not. But I guess I have a question and a statement. Why did you pick this format when from what I can tell, it's not a format that you've fished a ton of, and it's definitely not one of your strengths? And now, not to mention your tour is going down the drain because of Duckett. Question, do you feel like you made the right choice? If so, why? So there's more to this question too, and I'll get into it. So the first thing I want to address is yes, I picked the Bass Pro Tour. But I can't sit here and say that I just picked it like, here's my entry fee money, I'm going to fish it. You have to qualify to fish the Bass Pro Tour. And the reality is, I was fishing the FLW Tour, which was a 5-fish format. It was a professional level league. And then they got purchased by Major League Fishing. And, with respect to that, if you qualified from the FLW Tour for the Bass Pro Tour, which is what I did, your format changed from 5-fish format to total weight format. So I chose to stay with the FLW, which then turned into Major League Fishing Pro Circuit, and then the Invitationals. It's all basically the old FLW Tour. Yes, I chose to stay. There's a lot of reasons I chose to stay. Some of those just had to do with the fact that I felt like qualifying to get to the next level, which was the Bass Pro Tour on that side, or on this side, was mathematically potentially an easier route to go than fishing through the opens and qualifying for the Elite Series. I also felt like, based on having talked with a bunch of different professional anglers, that regardless of whether I fished the Elite Series or the Bass Pro Tour, sponsors would support you in roughly the same manner. Meaning, for me, as somebody who was at the top level, then kind of got delegated down a level to AAA based on a merger, my goal was, how do I get back to the top level as fast as possible? And the reason for that is if you get to the top level, one, you're generally fishing for better money. Two, you're generally fishing for what I would consider a less risk to reward ratio, meaning your expenses from an entry fee side should be less based on what the amount of money that you're going to win, and your sponsor dollars generally go up. Now, that really was the case for a while with Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour not having entry fees to start. And then they had entry fees, but they were entry fees that were kind of being paid for on the side. So you never really had to put out a bunch of money out of pocket because you were guaranteed money for finishing in last place, which that all went away this season that I qualified. That all went away without knowing that that was going to go away. So remember, a big part of me making the Bass Pro Tour was that the most I could lose in entry fee money, I think, was roughly $13,000. And when you compare the winnings of the overall anglers on the Bass Pro Tour compared to the Elite Series Tour, they're winning more money on the Bass Pro Tour. So there is a lot of reason to want to fish the Bass Pro Tour. But it's not as simply as just choose a circuit and go. And the reality is, yes, the format changes if you qualify from the Invitationals to the Bass Pro Tour, and there's really no good way to have experience fishing that format until you get to the format. Do I think I can compete fishing every fish format? Absolutely 100%. Now to give you some statistics, I qualified to fish a St. Lawrence or St. Clair Bass Pro Tour event 2 years ago based on my second place finish at the St. Lawrence River. I went there, cashed a check. I cashed a check in my first two tournaments, and I missed the check in the Dale Hollow event, basically based on my own error. I take full responsibility for it. I lost several fish, probably didn't have a great game plan in hindsight, and I still should have cashed the check, is how I look at it. So if you're cashing checks, that would have, I'm 3 for 4 in cashing checks. I feel like that's definitely competing. Now, yes, it does appear I'm generally stuck in that 25 pound a day ratio, but 25 pounds a day, if you do that, gets you a check in every one of those Bass Pro Tour events. So I'm okay with that. And I also think at some point I'm going to be able to put this all together and really figure out how to approach the every fish format. But it's not just as simple as, okay, I'm going to switch over. The guys who I'm fishing against have been doing this for 5 or 6 years, and they've fine-tuned their approach to be able to do it. So I think I can compete. I know I can compete at this level. I realize my results aren't absolutely fantastic yet, but I do feel very confident that I can compete at that level. All right, so then he asks if I feel like I made the right choice. Well, I 100% feel like I made the right choice to stay fishing the invitationals because I made it to the Bass Pro Tour. So yes, a lot of positive things have come to the overall career of Matt Steffen Fishing, or brand of Matt Steffen Fishing, for qualifying for the Bass Pro Tour. I have no complaints at all there. I don't second guess it at all. Had I left and gone to fish the Opens, I might still be fishing in Opens purgatory at this point. There are a lot of anglers, very, very good, experienced anglers, that have fished the Elite Series or the FLW Tour or both, that are still fishing the Opens because they made the decision to go over there. It's not an easy thing to go fish the Opens. And I'm fishing the Bass Pro Tour right now, so I'm very happy with my decision. So the second part of this says, are you going to consider fishing the Opens? I think you'd make more money on bass. You would obviously get better results. You'd have more eyeballs because, let's be real, Red Crest is a joke when it comes to people showing up to watch. No eyeballs whatsoever. That can't be good for your following. It just seems like a poor place to be spending your time when the bass fans would really enjoy watching you over at Bass. So what is your plan moving forward? Because it looks like you don't have a chance at a top 10 like you have to fish next year. Please don't take this as an attack on you. It's just me pointing out what seems to be pretty clear. What's the plan? Because the whole thing seems pretty whack on the Bass Pro Tour side of things. Okay, so my plan moving forward is the same plan I have every year. I evaluate what I see as the best opportunity for Mat 7 fishing. If that means staying at the Bass Pro Tour and I re-qualify for the Bass Pro Tour, then I'll fish the Bass Pro Tour. If I re-qualify for the Bass Pro Tour and I think things are going in a negative direction and I can fish the Opens, maybe I'll go fish the Opens. But every year I've been doing this, I evaluate what is best for the brand. And obviously, there are a lot of very good benefits to be on the Bass Pro Tour. It is a high level of competition with some of, if not the best anglers in the world, right? So from that standpoint, I don't know what I'm doing next year. I need to requalify. And, you know, it says, they make the comment here, I have to be in the top 10 to requalify. That's the only way. You got to be in the top 15 is the only way you can absolutely guarantee yourself in. Meaning they take the top 45 guys in AOI average. After that, they take the top 15 guys of the remaining 35 guys in the field. I don't know where I stand right now. I know before Dale Hollow, I was inside of that top 15. I imagine I'm not too far out. If I am out, I'm probably right around that 15th mark. So from that standpoint, I would requalify, or I'm right near where I need to be to requalify. So I'm not really thinking about not requalifying for next year. Not to mention there are rumors about another Bass League that's even coming that would be in between the Opens and the Elite. So there's a lot of things to take into account, but I'm not worried about any of that. I go to each tournament, I fish each tournament, I let the tournament play out as is. You know, I think my overall results of my career have been, would suggest that I can compete wherever I'm at. And from that standpoint, that's where we're at. Do I think that there's things that the Bass Pro Tour needs to fix? 100% I do. Do I think there's things that the Elite Series needs to fix? 100% I do. In either case, it's so difficult to get to either of those places that when you get there, you can't just easily say, well, now I'm going to switch and go to the other side. It doesn't work that way. So from that standpoint, it's very interesting to me to get comments like this, because I get so many viewers that feel like it's such a clear decision to be somewhere. But in reality, if you can't just look at it from a fishing standpoint. You really got to look at it as what's best for the brand. I'm in a very fortunate position where, you know, I've got a solid brand and I don't necessarily just have to rely on my tournament performance. Meaning, if I wanted to go and fish the Opens, knowing that I'm going to win a lot less money based on tournaments because the purse sizes are much smaller, I have the luxury of potentially doing that based on some other things that I've got going on. Most anglers, I don't feel like have that. They really are being forced to fish where the money is. But you gotta recognize that there's a lot of different things. Some anglers fish certain leagues because their sponsors want them to fish those leagues. It may not be where the angler wants to be, but if the sponsor is paying them enough, they're going to do whatever they need to do to keep that sponsor happy. Some of it could come down to format, but my honest answer based on format, as much as I probably am better at a 5-fish format, which is probably just geared towards my entire career, that's how I've trained myself. The reality is all of the anglers at the top level, regardless of league that they're fishing, can do whatever you want them to do. You know, if you were to talk to most of us anglers and you said, hey, I want you to go catch 7 fish, one needs to be 1 pound, one needs to be 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, and 7 pounds, we'd all go and try to do it. Like, I don't know that there's obviously skill set based on total fish versus 5 fish, but the skill set of the overall anglers is so good that we can adjust and learn how to do it. So yeah, I don't really take into account 5 fish or total fish. And I would also add, if you talk to the anglers that do total weight format, I think most of them would tell you it is a much more exciting format to fish. It may not necessarily be as exciting for the viewers at home, but to fish it, way more entertaining. It's so much more stressful, it's just so much more fun to fish that format. Now, you know, that's another thing you got to take into account. I really do enjoy fishing it, but as of right now, yeah, I'm probably a little bit better at 5 fish format. But does that mean I should switch just based on what I think is more fun or what I'm better at? I don't know how to answer it. Ultimately, these are questions I get on a daily basis. I want you guys to know that it's not just as simple as where do you want to go. Obviously, at some point in my career, I want to fish a Bassmaster Classic. That's a great, amazing event. I would love to do that at some point, but I also would love to win a Bass Pro Tour event. I haven't done that. I've done a lot of things in my career so far at this point, but there's a few things I still haven't done, and if I have the opportunity to do them now, I'm going to give all heck to do it, and that's really what it comes down to. So I don't want you to think whoever you are that wrote this, I'm knocking you. I'm definitely not. I appreciate these comments. I just want you to know that it's not necessarily as simple as where I'd be. And just because you think I would excel at a different format doesn't necessarily mean I would agree. I think I'll excel at whatever format is put in front of me. We've only had a couple of tournaments at this point. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all of you. I really, really do. Thank you so much for the comments. We got a video done based on the comment. If you've got questions you want me to do video on, throw it up in the comment section. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. New video coming out tomorrow.